Good morning, good morning. Happy day. I am popping on YouTube to do my 8-week check-in. And I asked on Facebook, like, if anybody had any questions. And so I have a couple to answer, and I am going to take it up a notch. Okay, so today is week 8, January the 13th, 2021, and it's at the first question. Today's weight. My weight this morning is 148.6. Yesterday was 148.1. I did drop calories per my last check-in, like I had mentioned to you. I was at 1850, and so I went ahead and decided that I was going to drop calories again. So I'm at 1725 now at week 8. So remember, I started I ended my reverse maybe like 2,300 calories, if I remember correctly. And then I think my first little jump down was 2,000, then around 19, then around 18, now around 17. And so my plan is to finish out the cut at around 1,700 calories. So I'm in the last month. I literally am only cutting until February 14th. I did not end up getting to go on my vacation. And so I'm stopping at February 14th like I had planned. So several people have wanted to know, like, why aren't you setting like a goal weight to stop cutting? Why are you setting a goal time frame? And I did that for a very strategic reason. And it is because the scale isn't always my only indicator of success. And my body composition has changed quite a bit over the past 3 months or 2 months of the cut, but 3 to 6 months since I started doing like the reverse process. My body composition has improved like crazy, and the scale's just not changing a ton, but that's because I don't have a ton of body fat on my body. Do I have body fat on my body that could go? Absolutely, I do. I'm not at a very, very extreme low level of body fat that makes it unhealthy for me to cut further, or anything of that sort, like like a competitor or whatever. But I didn't want to have a number stuck in my head. I just wanted to give myself a 3-month period of time, and then where the results lie is where the results lie. So that just really gives me the flexibility and freedom to not overthink, not worry, not try to rush the process, any of that. So that's where I'm at right now. My average weights was staying in that 148 point whatever range. And I don't really know why, because I dropped calories back, should be in a calorie deficit, should be getting things to drop slowly. And I don't know if it's just like a result of like the world stress or the weather's changing or what. Maybe I feel like I'm carrying a little bit more water in especially my face, than I have been. And so I don't know, it could just be like my body's a little stressed by lowering calories again. And so the bottom line is, I don't know why the scale's not going down, and I could use that as a reason to just like give up and not do this anymore. But that's why I set a time frame, so that I would play out the process one way or the other. So people were curious, like, well, what do you do after you do a cutting process? Then I'll go back into a reverse process, and hopefully the goal is to maintain composition changes. So systematically I'll be doing that as well. And I just been in a really good mental place for this. It hasn't been draining to me. I still have a lot of good energy. I'm not exhausted. My skin is still looking great. The last time I did a cut like this, my skin really, really suffered, which leads me to believe that my hormone replacement that I've been doing for years is exactly what my body needs, and my body's really balanced itself well with the help of those hormone supplements. And so for that, and when I say supplements, I mean hormone replacement therapy through my OBGYN, not like a supplement I buy from like First Form or something, not an oral supplement that I'm taking. So also my thyroid is finally, I think, on track. I have like the right thyroid combination for me. So my body is just running really, really well right now, and it has been really since I started in July. It's just been really a switch of a flip, and I feel really good. And my best friend was like, Terry, it's just like, you just like look vibrant. It's like you have a secret, and you're just like you just have a secret and you need to share it. And truly that's how I feel. And that's interesting in the midst of all of this chaos that we're really living in right now with politics and humans. It's really interesting that I've been able to manage my stress levels very well and continue feeling really great. And so I really credit that to a healthy lifestyle and a regimen that is doable and not so overwhelming that I can't stick to it. So no weight loss from last week. How are my clothes fitting? My clothes are fitting great. My swimsuit bottoms are loose on me. In fact, I really shouldn't wear those swimsuit bottoms anywhere except for like at home because they're so loose. My jeans are fitting like great. I don't wear jeans a ton, but everything's fitting good. I wore a crop top with one of my leggings this week, and I was just like, wow, my body is really looking tight, and I'm just really pleased with how it looks. And part of that is because my body composition has improved, but part of that is also a result of the mental side of things and the spiritual and emotional side of things that I always really encourage other people to do, is that I really focus on my positive sides and kind of choose to look and accept the things that I don't love as much about myself. And so I don't spend time like staring at my cellulite on my butt. It's there. Do I love having cellulite on my butt? Of course not, but that's just what is on my butt. Like, I don't know, it's just there. So I could be depressed and sad about it, or I could just accept it and talk about how great my ab lines are looking or how great my arm lines are looking. And that's what I choose to focus on. And that improves my quality of life. And it also randomly, or not randomly, improves my self-image too, because I'm not focusing on the negativity, I'm focusing on the positivity. So that's great. Did I drink 100 ounces of water every day? At least I'm probably closer to a gallon of water right now a day. And that was one of the questions that I got, so I'll answer that here shortly. Did I get all my lifting sessions in this week? Yes, I did. I did 5 lifting sessions last week, a couple total body days and an upper and lower body day. I did 60 total minutes of cardio, where I'm doing like more intense cardio. So it's like I'm working hard, like maybe sprinting or jumping or stair climbing, whatever. I don't keep track of like what I did. I just keep track of the minutes. So 60 minutes. I will not increase my cardio further than 60 minutes. I know that that's a really reasonable, substantial amount of cardio, and I don't need more than that. Any more than that's going to really increase my hunger levels. And there's just no point in doing that unless I was going to get rid of strength training to increase my cardio. But my overall goal is that my body looks tighter, not smaller. So that's why the scale can't be my only thing that I'm measuring my success with, is that I want to keep up the strength training because I want my body composition to continue looking strong and muscular. If I just wanted it to be skinny and I wasn't concerned about like skin sagging on my body, then I could just like bury myself in the ground with cardio. But an unlimited amount of cardio or a lot of cardio is never going to give you a tight body. It's just going to give you a smaller body, possibly. And sometimes it fries your adrenals, and sometimes it fries your thyroid. So more cardio is not better. I did increase my steps. So for years, I've walked, for a couple years, maybe 3 years, I've walked every day for 15 to 20 minutes. And I have systematically increased that through this cut to 30 minutes of walking every single day. It's not fast walking. If I'm on the treadmill, it's like 3.2. It's simply steps. On average, I know my steps have increased in the past week or so, and I don't know why, because I increased that step goal a few weeks back. But so I will keep that up, and I'm sure people are wondering, like, will you include, or will you keep doing that 60 minutes of cardio? Will you keep doing the 30 minutes of 30 minutes of steps every single day after you're done with this cutting process in reverse? No, I will decrease my cardio and probably just maybe keep it between like 30 and 40 minutes a week and make it like a more intense cardio session at that point, because I'll be eating more, so I'll be able to fuel that better, which will be able to give me a little bit more energy with it. And so my point for my cardio after I'm done with this cut will simply to be able to continue to stay in really good shape so I could run for my life if I needed to, so I could carry my kids if I needed to a distance for whatever reason, they broke a leg or something. Be like, I don't know, this is just something I probably say as a cop's wife, but like to be harder to kill. So that's hard. That's always how I kind of approach my training. I want to be strong and I want to be fast and I want to be able to move however I ask my body to. So once I go into the reverse process, cardio will decrease, but intensity will actually increase. What has made me happy or proud? I'm just so jacked about my mental space. Everything's going super well. My body's responding well. And I'm just really excited because I'm already 2 months in and this hasn't been a stressful process at all for me. And that's a really big improvement from the last time I dieted hard. And so yeah, I'm pretty jacked about it. Everything's going well, no complaints. And I don't intend on dropping my calories any lower than the 1725. So kind of my goal for the next month will just be top out at 1700, 1725. So some days if I'm not as hungry, I may be lower than 1700 or hitting 1700, but not going above 1800. So I always have like a 50 range that I kind of try to shoot for. So 1675 to 1775 is really my every single day goal. And then knowing that some days I will be able to be a little bit under, but not going over is the goal to finish out this cut. And wherever that ends up with my scale is where my scale ends up, and it is what it is. So let's see. So one of the questions was, why is your weight not changing even though your body looks better? And I honestly, this is kind of, I don't really know. It's not like muscle doesn't weigh more than fat. A pound of muscle does weigh the same as a pound of fat. I am not cheating on my diet, as some coaches would say. I don't really know why it's not changing. It should be. So I'm just going to keep going with it. It's not like I'm not eating enough to be putting on muscle right now. So I'm not increasing muscle right now. So honestly, I literally do not know what's going on with the scale. But I just continue weighing pretty much every day and I just don't really let it affect me. It just is what it is. It's just giving me information. Okay, and so then do you do a cutting process the same as you have a client do a cutting process? I do. This is my exact same process that I will or do have clients go through. The only exception is like if you're only tuning in today, this is week 8, so you didn't see the 8 weeks prior to this, so it's a systematic cut. So I don't go aggressively into a calorie deficit to start, because most people will lose weight just with getting consistent with a calorie intake across the 7-day period of time. So I start calories high always for someone who's wanting to lose weight, and then systematically decrease calories just as you've seen me do for my own. And am I doing like any crazy random like hidden things behind the scenes? No, I'm not. I'm doing the same things that I ask for you guys to do. And why did I do the timeline rather than goal weight? And I already answered that. So yeah, that was those 2 questions. The other one was, why do you recommend 100 ounces of water? And the reason that I recommend 100 ounces of water is like back in the day, they used to say like 8 or 8.5 cups of water. I've also heard over the course of my days, like half your body weight in ounces. And then also like when I was bodybuilding days, it was like a gallon of water, 1.5 gallons of water a day. And so I just have kind of come up to a good average for me. I recommend most people drinking 100 ounces of water a day. And that seems to be like a good rule of thumb, good doable number. Is that like doctrine? No, I think doctrine is actually half of your body weight in ounces, according to the Mayo Clinic. And the Mayo Clinic is also a good resource for like all things health related. So our body's actually made up of 60% of water, which is our heart, our brain, and our lungs have a ton of water. They're made up of a lot of water. So all of our organs need water to function appropriately. And also water really lubricates our joints. So for people with joint problems, a lot of times I'll like just find out they just don't drink water. So super important to keep that water flowing through your body. Also urine helps excrete fat cells. So, breath, urine, sweat, all excretes fat cells. That's also where we excrete our excess water. So really, water is just a really important way to manage hunger a bit. Sometimes we think we're hungry, but really we're thirsty. It lubricates our joints. It helps all of our organs work more appropriately, and sometimes it can even like curb hunger. If you drink a substantial amount of water, you can sometimes get through a little bit of hunger that is necessary when you're dieting. Remember, dieting is actually eating less than what your body needs in order to function where it's at today. And so it's very important that you realize when you do go into a diet and we are trying to hit a calorie deficit, there are going to be times that you're hungry. So if being hunger is like a trigger for you, which it has been for me a lot in the past, I haven't been prepared for a diet many times in my life. If that's like a trigger for you, it would be more wise for you to just get consistent with the calorie intake and just like tracking it and keeping track of where you're at rather than trying to eat less. It would be more important to systematically eat more, exercise, and then you can put on a little bit of muscle that way and your body composition can improve without having to be hungry. Like right now my stomach is growling. I'm hungry. I have not eaten today. But because the last question was food timing, is food timing important for you? And I don't believe that food timing is important at this stage because of the amount of fat I have on my body. If someone's carrying more fat that I'm carrying on their body, or at the level that I'm at right now, I just believe that it's the most important to get your calorie rate in every day consistently. Not worried about eating every 3 hours or right before training or right after training. Really, I feel like whatever you can stay consistent with is going to be the best bet. So a couple days this week I didn't eat till noon, and I was really happy because then from noon until I go to bed I have more calories to eat. Those 1,700 are spread out less, so it feels like more volume of food. Yesterday I had a 850 calorie sandwich and 150 calorie bag of chips for lunch. And so that, that's 1,000 calories. I only had 700 for the whole rest of the day. And I had already had breakfast. And so I went from, I think I ate that at noon, then I didn't eat dinner with my family until 7 o'clock last night. And that was totally fine. That's just how it worked out. I wasn't super hungry, but I was a little hungry. So I took my greens halfway in between there. That kind of filled up my belly. And so you have to work through some hunger when you're dieting. If you want to lose weight, you have to get into a calorie deficit and you have to be comfortable with a little bit of hungry. I have plenty of fat on my body, and I am doing this for a set amount of time. I'm not trying to do this for life. I'm not trying to make starving a lifestyle or eating a really low calorie diet a lifestyle. I'm not trying to do that. So I feel really confident in my body's ability to handle this and then to really do well when I go back into that reverse diet as well. The goal of meal timing in a dieting process is 100% to negate hunger and try to get you to be able to stick to the plan without varying much at all. So those are the only questions I had. So anyways, I posted on my Instagram story today my flexed musculature. I said, this is the best I've seen my musculature look. Even when I was doing the bodybuilding show back in the day, I just didn't have very much muscle on my body at that time. I was still really, really new to strength training. And so cutting down for that, I didn't have a ton of muscle. I was just pretty thin. Where now as I'm cutting, I have more muscle on my body. So I really am liking the thickness of how my body looks and the cuts that are visible. And I'm just really hoping that I can continue getting my arms to tighten up a little bit, lean up a little bit more, so that I'm just, when I'm relaxed in a resting state, that you can really see oh, okay, she lifts weights. So that's my overall goal. That is week 8, my friends. I will see you again at the end of January for week 10 check-in, and I'll let you know how it's going. Have a great day.